1,000 praises to the Almighty Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Part 2. Our Protector. I praise you. Our Mediator. I praise you. Our Brother. I praise you. Our Rising Sun. I praise you. Our Holy Sanctuary. I praise you. Worthy of glory. I praise you. Crown of glory. I praise you. Diadem of beauty. I praise you. A child and son. I praise you. Gracious and full of compassion. I praise you. The desire of every nation. I praise you. O God, to you belong all nations. I praise you. The Most High, who divided their inheritance of the nations. I praise you. Heir of all things. I praise you. He who upholds all things by the word of his power. I praise you. He who bore us on eagle's wings. I praise you. He who keeps me as an apple of an eye. I praise you. Your right hand shall hold me. I praise you. You are my shade at my right hand. I praise you. The blessed and only potentate. I praise you. One who is immortal. I praise you. The unseen. I praise you. The brightness of his glory. I praise you. The last Adam. I praise you. Father, the vine dresser. I praise you. The true vine. I praise you. The sower of good seeds. I praise you. He who prunes the branch to bear more fruits. I praise you. Author and finisher of our faith. I praise you. The breaker. I praise you. The Lord who fights for me. I praise you. Consuming fire. I praise you. You are like refiner's fire and like fuller's soap. I praise you. The great and awesome God. I praise you. You are awesome in your doing toward sons of men. I praise you. The shield of my help. I praise you. Heavenly bread. I praise you. The potter. I praise you. God with no partiality. I praise you. A tried precious cornerstone. I praise you. A sure foundation. I praise you. You are anointed with oil of gladness. I praise you. The Ancient of Days. I praise you. Lord, who is slow to anger. I praise you. The express image of God's person. I praise you. You are of pure eyes. I praise you. Head of the body of church. I praise you. The Lord who nourishes and cherishes the church. I praise you. Lion of the tribe of Judah. I praise you. Man of war. I praise you. Mighty in battle. I praise you. Mighty in strength. I praise you. The one who crushed Satan's head. I praise you. Christ the victor. I praise you. The Lord who has triumphed gloriously. I praise you. God who always lead us on triumph in Christ, I praise you. The great King above all gods, I praise you. Lord, you are greater than all gods, I praise you. Lord, you are exalted far above all gods, I praise you. You are to be feared above all gods, I praise you. Lord, you are above all gods, I praise you. You are greatly to be praised, I praise you. The Lord who bestows his riches upon all, I praise you. He who gives us power to get wealth, I praise you. Both riches and honor come of you, I praise you. You don't despise your own that are in bonds, I praise you. He who hears the groaning of the prisoners, I praise you. He who brings out those who are bound into prosperity, I praise you. He who sets free those appointed to death, I praise you. The Lord who upholds all those who fall, I praise you. The Lord who raises up all those who are bowed down, I praise you. He who heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds, I praise you. He who raises the poor out of the dust, I praise you. Lord, you are a refuge for the oppressed, I praise you. Lord, you have heard the desire of the humble, I praise you. He who hears the cry of the afflicted, I praise you. Lord, who maintains the cause of the humble, I praise you. Lord, who delivers the poor from him that is too strong for him, I praise you. Lord, who delivers the poor and the needy from him who spoils him, I praise you. Lord, you bless the poor, delivers him in the time of trouble, preserve him, keep him alive, will not deliver him to the will of enemies, and strengthen him and sustain him on his sick bed, I praise you. Lord, you will save the humble people, and you will bring down haughty looks, I praise you. The Lord executes righteousness and justice for all who are oppressed, I praise you. There is none like you, O Lord, to help both the mighty and the weak, I praise you. Lord, you will place the poor in the safety for which he longs, I praise you. You do not regard the rich more than the poor, I praise you. You have been a strength to the poor, I praise you. You have been a strength to the needy in his distress, I praise you. A refuge from the storm, I praise you. A shade from the heat, I praise you. Lord, you set the poor on high, far from affliction, I praise you. Sing to the Lord, I praise you, for he rescues the oppressed from the power of evil people, I praise you. Lord, you make the families like a flock, I praise you. Lord, you stand at the right hand of the poor to save him from those who condemn him, I praise you. Lord, who lifts the needy out of the dust, I praise you. Lord, you make the poor to sit with the princes of his people, I praise you. Lord, you maintain the justice for the poor, I praise you. Father of the fatherless, I praise you. Defender of widows, I praise you. Helper of the fatherless, I praise you. Lord, you will regard the prayer of the destitute and will not despise their supplication, I praise you. He who upholds the widows and the fatherless. I praise you. The Lord watches over the strangers. I praise you. He who loves the stranger, giving him food and clothing. I praise you. God who gives the desolate a home to dwell. I praise you. God, you provide from your goodness for the poor. I praise you. The Lord who has compassion on his servant. I praise you. The Lord who delights in the welfare of his servant. I praise you. Lord who confirms the words of his servant. I praise you. Lord who performs the counsel of his messengers. I praise you. Lord who redeems the soul of his servant. I praise you. Lord who will avenge the blood of his servant. I praise you. The Lord who makes his face shine upon his servant. I praise you. The steps of a good man are ordered by you, O Lord. I praise you. Though he falls, he shall not be utterly cast down, for Lord, you uphold him with your right hand. I praise you. God who saves the upright in heart. I praise you. The Lord who weighs the heart. I praise you. God who tests the heart and mind. I praise you. God who tests the righteous. I praise you. God who is with the generations of the righteous. I praise you. The Lord hears and delivers the righteous out of their troubles. I praise you. Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but Lord, you deliver him out of them all. I praise you. The Lord guards all the bones of the righteous, not one of them will be broken. I praise you. The righteous will not be forsaken, nor his descendants will beg for bread. I praise you. Lord, with favor you will surround the righteous as with a shield. I praise you. The Lord who upholds the righteous. I praise you. The Lord shall help the righteous and deliver them. I praise you. You shall never permit the righteous to be moved. I praise you. The Lord who makes the righteous to flourish like the palm tree and help him grow like a cedar in Lebanon. I praise you. The Lord who loves the righteous. I praise you. The righteous shall be fresh and flourishing and still bear fruit in old age. I praise you. Lord, you are with the good. I praise you. The Lord who knows the days of the upright. I praise you. For those who walk upright, the Lord does good things. I praise you. The Lord who lifts the humble. I praise you. The one who beautifies the humble with salvation. I praise you. To the humble, Lord, you teach your way. I praise you. He who teaches sinners in the way. I praise you. To them who fear you, O Lord, you will show your covenant. I praise you. The faithful God who keeps covenant and mercy for 1,000 generations. I praise you. Lord, you will never forsake your saints. I praise you. He who preserves the way of his saints. I praise you. He who guards the feet of his saints. I praise you. God who is greatly to be feared in the assembly of the saints. I praise you. He who is held in reverence by all those around him. I praise you. The Lord who is praised by cherubims and seraphims. I praise you. Lord, you are my shield, my glory, and the one who lifts up my head. I praise you. My horn you have exalted like a wild ox. I praise you. He who sets me on high places. I praise you. The Lord who sustains me. I praise you. O Lord, you alone make me dwell in safety. I praise you. Lord, you were and you are my support. I praise you. You will light my lamp and will enlighten my darkness. I praise you. You have opened my ears. I praise you. Lord, you have heard the voice of my supplication. I praise you. Lord, you have heard the voice of my weeping. I praise you. Lord, you have put my tears into your bottle. I praise you. Lord, you have delivered my feet from falling. I praise you. Lord, you have set my feet upon a rock. I praise you. Lord, you shall pluck my feet out of the net. I praise you. You will keep my feet from being caught. I praise you. You make my feet like the feet of the deer. I praise you. You have enlarged my path under me that my feet did not slip. I praise you. God who makes my way perfect. I praise you. He who owns all my ways. I praise you. Lord, you have not given me into the hands of the enemy, but have set my feet in a wide place. I praise you. Lord, you have also brought me out into a broad place. I praise you. When I called in my distress, Lord, you answered me and set me in a wide place. I praise you. You have delivered me out of all troubles. I praise you. You saved me from violence. I praise you. You shall deliver me in 6 troubles, yes, in 7 no evil shall touch me. I praise you. You will bring me into the strong city. I praise you. He who teaches my hands to make war. I praise you. He who trains my hands for war and my finger for battle. I praise you. Taking us by our arms, you taught us to walk. I praise you. He who delivers his servant from the deadly sword. I praise you. He who redeems us from the power of sword and war. I praise you. Lord, you have covered my head in the day of battle. I praise you. You have redeemed my soul in peace from the battle which was against me. I praise you. You have subdued under me those who rose against me. I praise you. Lord, you have heard the reproach of my enemies and all their schemes and their whispering. I praise you. Lord, you have heard the lips of my enemies and their whispering against me all the day. I praise you. O Lord, you have seen how I am wronged. I praise you. God who arms me with strength. I praise you. Lord, you have commanded your strength to me. I praise you. Yes, you have loved me with an everlasting love, therefore with loving kindness you have drawn me. I praise you. Though I have not known you, you have named me. I praise you. Your greatness has made me great. I praise you. You have made me the head of the nations. I praise you. God who subdues the people under me. I praise you. You will subdue the nations under our feet. I praise you. he who delivers me from the striving of the people. I praise you. You shall keep me secretly in a pavilion from the strife of tongues. I praise you. God who avenges me. I praise you. The Lord who says, "Vengeance is mine, I will repay." I praise you. You will repay my enemies for their evil. I praise you. Lord, you will not be slack with him who hates you, but will repay him to his face. I praise you. God, you shall let me see my desire on my enemies. I praise you. They are brought to shame who seek my hurt. I praise you. Lord, your commandments make me wiser than my enemies, for they are ever with me. I praise you. He who cast out many nations great and mightier than me. I praise you. The Lord who has driven out from before us great and strong nations. I praise you. Lord, you made me trust when I was upon my mother's breast. I praise you. You make me lie down in green pastures, and you lead me beside the still waters. I praise you. You restore my soul. I praise you. You lead me in the path of righteousness. I praise you. Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. You are with me. I praise you. He who turns the shadow of death into morning. I praise you. He who brings the shadow of death into light. I praise you. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. I praise you. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. I praise you. You anoint my head with oil, my cup runs over. I praise you. Surely your goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. I praise you. Lord, your kindness is before my eyes. I praise you. My heart trusted in you, and I am helped. I praise you. My times are in your hands. I praise you. In the time of trouble you shall hide me in your pavilion in the secret place of your tabernacle. I praise you. You shall hide me in the secret place of your presence from the plots on men. I praise you. Lord, you have healed me. I praise you. You have kept me alive. I praise you. When my father and mother forsake me, then, Lord, you will take care of me. I praise you. Lord, you shall strengthen my heart. I praise you. You will keep me safe from all the evil thoughts of men. I praise you. Lord, you have lifted me up. I praise you. You have brought me out of the miry clay. I praise you. You have lifted me out of the horrible pit. I praise you. You who lift me up from the gates of death. I praise you. In famine you shall redeem me from death. I praise you. You have brought my soul up from the grave. I praise you. You have delivered my soul from the depths of Sheol. I praise you. You have delivered my soul from death. I praise you. Lord, you made me bold with strength in my soul. I praise you. You have pleaded the case of my soul. I praise you. You have redeemed my soul in peace from the battle which was against me. I praise you. Lord, you have redeemed my soul from every distress. I praise you. You have granted me life and favor, and your care has preserved my spirit. I praise you. Your care preserves my soul. I praise you. Your care preserves my body. I praise you. My transgression is forgiven. I praise you. My sin is covered. I praise you. Lord, you do not impute the iniquity of mine. I praise you. You forgave the iniquity of my sin. I praise you. You have cast all my sins behind your back. I praise you. He who said, I have removed your iniquity from you, and I will clothe you with rich robes. I praise you. You have forgiven all my iniquities and healed my diseases. I praise you. You have redeemed my life from destruction. I praise you. You have crowned me with loving kindness and tender mercies. I praise you. You have anointed me with fresh oil. I praise you. Lord, you satisfy my mouth with good things. I praise you. You have put a new song in my mouth. I praise you. You shall surround me with songs of deliverance. I praise you. You have turned for me my mourning into dancing. I praise you. You have put off my sackcloth and clothed me with gladness. I praise you. Lord, you drew us with gentle cords, with bands of love. I praise you. I am poor and needy, yet my Lord thinks upon me. I praise you. God who receives me. I praise you. God who sustains me. I praise you. God who had fed me all my life long to this day. I praise you. I know, God, you are for me. I praise you. You are with me as a mighty, awesome one. I praise you. Lord, you came down for me against the mighty. I praise you. Lord, you have delivered me from all fears. I praise you. You shall give me the desires of my heart. I praise you. Your left hand is under my head, and your right hand embraces me. I praise you. Your right hand is full of righteousness. I praise you. He who justifies me. I praise you. Lord, you shall bring forth my righteousness as the light and my justice as the noonday. I praise you. You, O God, have heard my vows. I praise you. God, who has not turned away my prayer and your mercy from me. I praise you. Merciful God, you shall come to meet me. I praise you. You have formed my inward parts and covered me in my mother's womb. I praise you. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. I praise you. My frame was not hidden from you when I was made in the secret. I praise you. Your eyes saw my substance being yet unformed. I praise you. By you, my Lord, I have been upheld from my birth. I praise you. You are the one who took me out of my mother's womb. I praise you. He who separated me from my mother's womb. I praise you. O Lord, you have taught me from my youth. I praise you. You are the Lord my God who teaches me to profit. I praise you. He who leads me by the way I should go. I praise you. You are my hope and trust from my youth. I praise you. You have numbered my wanderings. I praise you. You shall increase my greatness and comfort me on every side. I praise you. He who awakens me morning by morning and awakens my ear to hear as the learned. I praise you. He who makes me differ from another. I praise you. You will guide me with your counsel and afterward receive me to glory. I praise you. You will not allow my foot to be moved. I praise you. He who keeps me will not slumber. I praise you. The sun shall not strike me by day, nor the moon by the night. I praise you. The Lord shall preserve me from all evil. I praise you. The Lord shall preserve my soul. I praise you. The Lord shall preserve my going out and coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. I praise you. Lord, you have acquainted with all my ways. I praise you. Lord, who goes before me? I praise you. He who rides the heavens to help and in his excellency on the clouds. I praise you. O Lord, you have searched me and known me. I praise you. You know my sitting down and rising up. I praise you. You understand my thought afar off. I praise you. Even before a word is on my tongue, O Lord, you know it altogether. I praise you. The Lord has given me the tongue of the learned. I praise you. You comprehend my path and my lying down. I praise you. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, you will revive me. I praise you. When my spirit was overwhelmed within me, then you know my path. I praise you. You have hedged me behind and before and laid hand upon me. I praise you. As a man chastens his son, so the Lord my God chastens me. I praise you. Lord, you have chastened me severely, but have not given me over to death. I praise you. Lord, you have not given us a prey to the enemy's teeth. I praise you. In the day when I cried out, you answered me. I praise you. You drew near on the day I called on you and said, do not fear. I praise you. How precious are your thoughts to me, O God. I praise you. You have strengthened the bars of my gate and blessed my children within me. I praise you. You make peace in my borders. I praise you. He who walks in the midst of my camp to deliver me and give my enemies over to me. I praise you. You would feed me with the finest wheat, and with honey from the rock you would satisfy me. I praise you. You give us our heart's desire. I praise you. Lord, who has remembered us in our lowly state. I praise you. Lord, you have been mindful of us. I praise you. You have made us walk upright. I praise you. He who pursues us and pass safely by the way we have not gone with our feet. I praise you. You have made us exceedingly glad with your presence. I praise you. You give us drink from the river of your pleasures. I praise you. You send from heavens your mercy and truth and save me. I praise you. He who shall tread our enemies. I praise you. You have saved us from our enemies and have put to shame those who hated us. I praise you. You, O God, have proved us. You have refined us as silver is refined. I praise you. You have broken the bands of our yoke. I praise you. You will bless those who fear you, Lord, both small and great. I praise you. He who blesses the house of Israel. I praise you. He who blessed the house of Aaron. I praise you. We are blessed of the Lord who made heaven and earth. I praise you. Lord, you give us an increase to us and to our children. I praise you. The children of your servants shall dwell secure. I praise you. Their descendants will be established before you. I praise you. The mercy of the Lord is from everlasting to everlasting on those who fear him, and his righteousness to children's children. I praise you. As the heavens are high above the earth, so great is your mercy toward those who fear you, Lord. I praise you. Lord, you pity those who fear you as the Father pities his children. I praise you. You have not dealt with us according to our sins, nor you have punished us according to our iniquities. I praise you. As far as the east is from the west, so you have removed our transgressions from us. I praise you. Lord, you have done all our works in us. I praise you. Lord, you give strength and power to your people. I praise you. Lord, you will bless your people with peace. I praise you. The Lord who binds up the bruise of his people and heals the stroke of their wound. I praise you. You take pleasure in your people. I praise you. You have exalted the horn of your people. I praise you. He who visits his flock and makes them as his royal horse in the battle. I praise you. You led your people like a flock. I praise you. The voice of the Lord is full of majesty. I praise you. The voice of the Lord breaks the cedars. I praise you. The voice of the Lord divides the flames of fire. I praise you. The voice of the Lord shakes the wilderness of Kadesh. I praise you. The voice of the Lord makes the deer give birth. I praise you. For your saving arm and for your right hand. I praise you. For the eyes of the Lord that run to and fro throughout the whole earth. I praise you. For the light of your countenance. I praise you. Lord, you are more glorious and excellent than the mountains of prey. I praise you. The Lord who fills the heaven and earth. I praise you. He who fills all in all. I praise you. He who satiate the weary soul and replenish every sorrowful soul. I praise you. The saving refuge of his anointed. I praise you. He who exalt the horn of his anointed. I praise you. The Lord who preserves the faithful and fully repays the proud. I praise you. He who fashions the hearts individually and consider all their works. I praise you. He who forms the spirit of man within him. I praise you. He who declares to man what his thought is. I praise you. Lord, you render to each one according to his work. I praise you. The angel of the Lord encamps all around those who fear him and delivers them. I praise you. Lord, you have given me the heritage of those who fear your name. I praise you. Lord, you are near to those who have a broken heart and save those who have a contrite spirit. I praise you. If I trust in the Lord shall bring it to pass. I praise you. God has spoken that power belongs to God. I praise you. Oh, you who hear the prayer, to you all flesh will come. I praise you. There is nothing too hard for you, O my Lord. I praise you. You have made everything beautiful in its time. I praise you. With God, nothing will be impossible. I praise you. Abba, Father, all things are possible for you. I praise you. When you spoke, it was done, and when you commanded, it stood fast. I praise you. Every knee shall bow, and every tongue shall confess to you, O God. I praise you. The earth is satisfied with the fruit of your works. I praise you. The earth is full of your possessions. I praise you. Lord, you knew the face of the earth. I praise you. Lord, you visit the earth and water it. I praise you. You greatly enrich it through the river of God full of water. I praise you. You bless its growth. I praise you. The earth is full of the goodness of the Lord. I praise you. He who has set all the borders of the earth. I praise you. The creator of the ends of the earth. I praise you. He who builds his layers in the sky and has founded his strata in the earth. I praise you. He who established the world firmly. I praise you. For the years of the right hand of the Most High. I praise you. The number of your years cannot be discovered. I praise you. You crown the year with your goodness. I praise you. Your paths drip with fatness. I praise you. With you is the fountain of life. I praise you. Your judgments are a great deep. I praise you. Your thoughts are very deep. I praise you. Oh, the depth of the riches, both of the wisdom and knowledge of God. I praise you. Your greatness is unsearchable. I praise you. You do great things past finding and wonders without numbers. I praise you. He who breaks in pieces mighty men without inquiry and sets others in their place. I praise you. There is no searching of your understanding. I praise you. Your paths are past finding out. I praise you. O Lord, how great are your works. I praise you. Your work is perfect and all your ways are justice. I praise you. Your righteousness is like the great mountains. I praise you. Your glory is above the earth and heaven. I praise you. He who said, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. I praise you. For your mercy, O Lord, which is in the heavens. I praise you. Your faithfulness reaches to the clouds. I praise you. The children of men take refuge under the shadow of your wings. I praise you. For the chariots of God that are 20,000, even thousands of thousands. I praise you. He who makes the clouds his chariot and walks on wings. I praise you. He who rides on the clouds. I praise you. Lord, you have stretched out the heavens like a curtain. I praise you. He who counts the number of the stars and calls them all by name. I praise you. He who seals off the stars. I praise you. The Lord who knows how to deliver the godly out of temptations. I praise you. He who knows to reserve the unjust under punishment for the day of judgment. I praise you. God who is greater than our heart and knows all things. I praise you. Lord, you are greater than Jonah. I praise you. You are greater than Solomon. I praise you. You are greater than all. I praise you. You are greater than the temple. I praise you. The Lord is great in Zion. I praise you. He who is in us is greater than he who is in the world. I praise you. Your understanding is infinite. I praise you. Great is your goodness. I praise you. Great is your beauty. I praise you. Great is your faithfulness. I praise you. Your mercies are very great. I praise you. Great is the glory of my Lord. I praise you. Your mercy toward me is great. I praise you. Lord, you command your loving kindness in the daytime. I praise you. Your loving kindness is better than life. I praise you. The Lord who gives grace and glory. I praise you. How precious is your loving kindness, O God. I praise you. Your mercy endures forever. I praise you. It is your mercies that we are not consumed. I praise you. Your mercies are new every morning. I praise you. The Lord who crowns me with loving kindness and tender mercies. I praise you. For your compassions that fail not. I praise you. For all your benefits. I praise you. Lord, you are clothed with honor and majesty. I praise you. You are girded with strength. I praise you. You cover yourself with light as with a garments. I praise you. He who put on righteousness as a breastplate. I praise you. He who put on a helmet of salvation on his head. I praise you. Weeping may stay for the night, but rejoicing comes in the morning. I praise you. He who is glad with zeal as a cloak. I praise you. He who has the sharp two-edged sword. I praise you. He who makes his angels spirits. I praise you. Lord, you satisfy the longing soul. I praise you. You fill the hungry soul with goodness. I praise you. He who sends his word and heals. I praise you. For your word which gives me comfort in my afflictions. I praise you. For the wondrous things from your law. I praise you. Lord, you have caused me to hope upon your word. I praise you. For your word which gives me life. I praise you. You have dealt well, are dealing well, will deal well with your servants. I praise you. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. I praise you. Your words give light and understanding to the simple. I praise you. For your words which is very pure and tried. I praise you. Your word was to me joy and rejoicing of my heart. I praise you. Your words do good to him who walks uprightly. I praise you. Your words are faithful and worthy of all acceptance. I praise you. Oh, God, your word is living and powerful. I praise you. Your word is like a fire and like a hammer that breaks the rock in pieces. I praise you. He who makes his words fire. I praise you. The word of the Lord is right, and all his work is done in truth. I praise you. Your commandment is exceedingly broad. I praise you. Lord, you did, and you will do awesome deeds to us. I praise you. Lord, in righteousness you will answer. I praise you. Lord, your anger is for a moment, but your favor is for a lifetime. I praise you. Lord, you will not keep your anger forever. I praise you. There is forgiveness with you. I praise you. With you is abundant redemption. I praise you. For the help of your countenance, I praise you. The Lord who made the heavens, I praise you. He who made the worlds, I praise you. He who made the sea into dry land, I praise you. You broke open the fountain and the flood. I praise you. You dried up mighty rivers. I praise you. In the daytime you let your people with the cloud, and all the night with a light of fire. I praise you. He who split the rocks in the wilderness and gave them drink. I praise you. The waters of Marah were made sweet by you, O Lord. I praise you. He who sent the bread of the angels as food in abundance. I praise you. He who broke the wall of Jericho. I praise you. He who opened the mouth of the donkey to speak. I praise you. You made the sun stand still over Gibeon and moon in the valley of Ajalon. I praise you. He who makes the morning darkness. I praise you. He who turns the rivers into a wilderness. I praise you. He who turns the water into dry ground. I praise you. You turn the wilderness into pools of water. I praise you. Lord, you turn the rock into a pool of water. I praise you. You turn the dry land into water springs. I praise you. He who brings the time of birth and he who causes delivery. I praise you. The Lord who rebuilt the ruined places. I praise you. Lord, you will seek what was lost. I praise you. You bring back what was driven away. I praise you. You will bind up the broken. I praise you. You are a hiding place from the wind and a cover from the tempest. I praise you. You will make darkness light before them and crooked place straight. I praise you.